Atop the mammoth stronghold of Greykeep sits King's Vantage, a gathering place of merchants, servants, and nobles alike. From here, the high towers of the keep encircle the terrace, a grove of stone jutting out from the city below. Beyond, the vast countryside of Nortender stretches to the far horizon, a view that both reminds and inspires those who defend it.
Yes. What do we have here? Interesting. Well then, the Queen will want to report. What's this? What do we have here? Nothing new today. Interesting.
I see. I had hoped for a different outcome. But you once again made the best out of a hopeless situation. Which is why it is time to make this official.
You mean...
Yes, General Arev. You proved yourself worthy. I hereby pronounce you General of the Wolf Guard. I trust you will lead your soldiers as well as you have done before. A lot depends on it.
Thank you, Your Majesty. I will do my best.
Good. Now, back to the task at hand. Thanks to the Wolfguard's efforts, we now know that there is a dangerous political movement in Windholm, led by a dwarven priest named Arrakis. Furthermore, the soul vanishing Skadar observed is real, and it's a group of rogue dark elves, led by a masked woman, who are responsible for it. And there are hints that it's connected to the God of Light. This means that there are 3 questions we need to find answers to. 1. Who are those sleepers? 2. Who or what exactly is the God of Light, and how does it plan to enter our world? We hardly know anything about it. And 3. How do we deal with High Hierophant Arrakis and his movement? The last thing we need when facing an ancient god is an empire of crazed dwarves.
Shouldn't the Royal Army take over now that we know what we're up against?
On the contrary, the Wolf Guard is best suited for any of these missions.
How so?
Because I want to see these matters dealt with as swiftly as possible. Mobilizing the Royal Army would mean a lot of discussions with the other noble houses, for which we lack the time, and I lack the patience.
So, you want to make all these questions Nortandra's responsibility?
What other choice do we have? Do not misunderstand, General Arev. I, too, would rather focus my efforts on rebuilding the country. But both the matter in Windholm and these masked Dark Elves pose a threat to our empire. And I will not stand by and hope someone else will take care of this for us.
Your Majesty, regarding Tahar...
I know. You think those sleepers behind the Soul Harvest are responsible for his death?
It's very likely. Tahar was examining the disappearance of a village when the ambush happened. And, judging by a conversation I had with the mortician, the wounds match the swords of a sleeper.
So it wasn't X-Purity after all?
Probably not.
Well, we shall know for sure once we identify the sleepers and bring them to justice. Another reason to see this through.
Absolutely.
Fair enough. Any ideas where we can find information on the God of Light?
Remember when I told you that I've been following a lead? Turned out this one wasn't a dead end. We already knew that many religions mentioned the God of Light, albeit under different names. There's one in particular, though, that sparked our interest. The Alyani.
The tribe indigenous to the Howling Steppes? How can they help us?
Well, unlike other religions, their entire faith revolves around the God of Light. It plays a pivotal role in their culture.
So you want to travel there and find out if they know anything worthwhile, correct?
I think it's worth a try.
Agreed. General Arev, you will travel to the Howling Steppes with a division of your best soldiers and find us some answers.
Understood. Where should we start looking for clues regarding the rogue sleepers?
Well, the first step should be to contact Exalted Father's ambassadors, and...
No.
Excuse me?
Dark Elven governance is... complicated. Even if we were to send an emissary right now, it would take us moons to even get an answer.
Then what do you suggest?
We reach out to a contact of mine, the leader of the Black Company. He knows all the dark corners of the Dark Elven realm, and I'm sure he can dig up some information on those rogue sleepers as well. With your permission, I'll send a messenger and arrange a meeting in Calabrok.
You have it. General Arev, you will accompany Skadar and see if this mercenary lord has anything worthwhile to say.
All right. And how do we stop Arrakis without starting a war?
With the help of someone who is on her way to Greykeep as we speak. We will confer once she is here.
Someone?
You shall see. It appears that we have a plan. The quicker we follow up on these matters, the better our chances of stopping the rock slide before it crashes down the slope. Good luck, and thank you for all your service. You have done well.
Tell me this is a joke, Ambassador. Tell me this is a bloody joke.
I'm afraid not, Commander.
I've served the crown for 30 years. 30 years! And now she discards me like an old pair of boots?
The caravan's safety was your responsibility. And by walking off with that recruit, you endangered all of us. I'm sorry. You were only 2 years from your retirement either way. And the incident will not impact your pension. The Crown will not let you...
Go to hell!
General, is there anything I can help you with?
What are your thoughts on all this? The dwarves?
I wish I knew. Truth be told, in my experience, it's best if you don't think about these matters too much. Their causes, their implications. Instead, you should focus on what you can do about it. This is how I approach most aspects of life. Act, don't brood. Also, I fully trust Her Majesty, and since she has put her faith in you, I do the same.
I'm flattered. What's your story? How did you become Ambassador of the Realm?
Oh, well, it's not an exciting story if that's what you were hoping for. I'm the son of Jaros de Bros.
The de Breos? The Mayor of Greyfell?
Yes, my path was pretty much paved the moment my parents found out that I was gifted. A royal mage took me under his wing, and I joined the university when I was only 15 years old, where I studied the 5 languages, history, diplomacy, and magic. Since I wasn't an exceptional mage, but performed quite well in other disciplines, my father suggested that I pursue a career in politics, as he had done. That I did, and here I am, 13 years later, and Ambassador of the Queen.
You speak all of the 5 languages?
More or less, yes, though my Elven and Empyrean have gotten a little rusty.
I might be wrong, but you don't seem too happy about your achievement.
What? No, of course I am. What about you? How did you join the military?
Well, I was born into a military family. It wasn't that much of a choice.
I can relate. Either way, is there anything else I can assist you with?
What was that about? Your argument with Commander Reinelt?
The Queen demoted him for his failure on the Golden Road. She basically sent him into early retirement.
That's harsh. Nobody could have foreseen that ambush.
I agree, but sauntering about the forest with that recruit, he was careless.
Has our dwarven ally arrived yet?
Not yet, but we have received word that she passed the gates of Kings 2 days ago. In other words, she will arrive soon. If you'd be willing to wait, I could arrange a conclave right after she arrives.
All right, I'll wait.
Good.
Your Majesty?
Rhea Hellstone, rise.
Your Majesty, it's an honor. I'll keep it brief. High Hierophant Arrakis has enemies in Windhome too. The Blackstone Rebels, which I lead together with my brother Malik. We are planning a coup, and we're hoping for the Crown's support.
Wait, Blackstone Rebels? Did you borrow that name?
From the uprising against King Rorik 15 years ago. Aye. So you know about our history?
No, but one of the Circle Mages, Iskrim, someone close to him died during the rebellion.
Many good men and women died. We chose this name in their honor.
So, not all the dwarves in Windhome support Arrakis.
Of course not. His ideology is a current that threatens to drag under everyone who doesn't fit the ideal. And even among those who do, there are many who oppose it, as they should. Since this talk of Granite Sons is by far the, pardon my language, Your Majesty, most damned idiotic thing I've heard in years.
And just how did you and your brother get to lead a rebellion?
We both have our reasons. Suffice it to say that Arrakis spits on everything we hold dear. And also, we're not leaders. We're the faces of hundreds who refuse to stand by and watch as this sodding lunatic steers our homeland into chaos.
Very noble of you.
And you are?
Wraith Skadar. He is assisting us in another matter.
I see. Well, Wraith Skadar, I don't claim to be a saint. If you don't trust me, fine, but I'm all you're getting.
If we doubted your intentions, you would not be here.
Good to hear.
Interesting. So instead of engaging directly, you want to support these rebels. Is that it, Your Majesty?
Yes.
How do you know if we can trust them?
We do not. But once again, it is our best option. We've already pushed our luck by recapturing Dracot, and we cannot intervene directly without risking another war.
Nobody wants another war. Look, General, I understand your reservations. But trust me, if it were up to me, I'd be on a ship to Zoo by now. I'm doing this because I have to. And I have no intention of staying once this scumbag is back where he belongs. In chains, and in the darkest pit the Windhome dungeons have to offer.
All right. What role do you see the Wolfguard playing in this?
Well, that's simple. We need an experienced soldier to help us with an operation. A heist. Right now, we are many, but lack the coin to become a force to be reckoned with. We intend to change that by borrowing some money and high-quality weapons from Windhome's treasuries. If you help us see this through, we will use this money to build up an army strong enough to take care of Arrakis and reinstate the prince. Also, we will lend the crown the Blackstone Rebels' forces to help you on that mission of yours. If you want us, that is.
You know about our mission? About the God of Light?
I was briefed, yes.
Why would you risk the lives of you and your men for that?
Dust and stones. You're looking for the fault in everything, aren't you? First of all, it's simply our end of the bargain. You help the rebellion, we help your mission. Secondly, if this God of Light is half as gruesome and dangerous as the rumors about that fight in the Hall of Justice say, only an idiot would sit in our hands while it tries to eat our world. Don't you think?
Do you think King Rorik's son is fit to lead Windwall? To my knowledge, his father didn't enjoy the best reputation, did he?
Right. Not to mention the fact that he murdered the original Blackstone rebels, whose name you borrowed.
That's true. But the prince is still a blank slate. It doesn't look like he takes after his father. And with the right guidance, we should be able to steer him in the right direction.
How do you plan on getting us into Windhome, though? Is there a side entrance?
Way better. Look.
Letter of passage? For Sverak Yor?
One of EO's most renowned architects. Aye, whom we've taken hostage. Arrakis hired him to help with the construction of his statue.
What statue?
You don't know? Arrakis has ordered the construction of a giant statue of Nihalf made of pure moon silver. A monument to Windhome's greatness, apparently.
Huh. So that's the symbol that dwarf in the Windwall outskirts was talking about.
Arrakis wants an Empyrean architect to design the statue. Am I the only one who sees the irony in that?
No, he sees it too. Which is why the letter also contains strict orders not to question its bearer too much.
That's convenient.
A statue made of pure moon silver. That's madness.
Arrakis in a nutshell.
You kidnapped the architect?
Aye, but don't worry. We simply took him somewhere where he won't mess up our plan. He's well cared for and will be released once the coup has been seen through.
An unrelated question, but did you notice any cases of people disappearing in Windwall? Or its outskirts?
No. This is about the God of Light, right?
Yes.
I see. Well, no, nothing yet. Though now you mention it, there has been talk of strange dark elves patrolling the border. That might be anything, though. Frankly, at this point, Windhome's biggest problem is Arrakis. And I hope it stays that way for now.
But I'm not Sverak Yor. How does this letter help us?
Says who? You spent years in Imperia, and you even have a slight accent. Windhome folk aren't particularly cosmopolitan, so they won't know the difference. You take the letter, show it to the gate guards, and they'll let you pass. No questions asked. Then we meet up with my brother, discuss the plan, and see it through together.
Excellent. General, make all the necessary preparations. Even if the mission succeeds, it will take the rebels a while to set the coup in motion. In other words, the sooner we get this done with, the better.
Understood.
Over here.
General,
Could you tell me more about yourself?
what is it with all the questions, General Erev? I don't mind, but I don't really see the point.
I'm just curious.
Well, ask.
What was your profession back when you still lived in Lar?
Intelligence.
What?
Right. You wouldn't know. Dark Elven children are taken from their birth parents at the age of 4 and are given a concoction that wipes most of their memory. Then they are sent into the communes, giant buildings where they live until they come of age, with hundreds of other children who were born the same year. These are their brothers and sisters, whereas the Exalted Father and his Queen become their parents from the time they enter the commune until they come of age.
To what end, though?
To weed out the weak from the strong, and to determine which caste the child is most suitable for. Intelligence, strength, endurance, etc.
So they're raised and educated in the communes?
By the overseers, yes. Though they don't intervene too much, apart from training and teaching them. The idea is to let the pack, the children of each generation, develop their own hierarchy and dynamics.
Throw them into a pit and see who comes out on top.
Well said.
And the parents agree to this?
Well, they don't bake cakes and throw confetti to mark the occasion, but yes, they agree. The communes are an inseparable part of Dark Elven culture, and, albeit at a cost, they work. The communes provide every child with the same chance. That's more than can be said about Finon Mir or Nortanda culture.
Strength, intelligence, and endurance. So, Dark Elven society is divided into castes?
Yes, the entirety of which constitutes the realm. Speech rules, strength fights, and wisdom preaches.
And what happens to the weak?
Depends. Most of them just end up in endurance, doing farmer's work. Others die.
Interesting. And you were assigned to the intelligence?
Correct.
What castes are there?
6. Strength, intelligence, speech, wisdom, endurance, and soul.
Strength is the army?
Army, city guard, and so on. Pretty much every job that requires muscle and knowing how to kill. Most Black Company mercenaries used to be members of the Strength before they changed professions.
Figures. What do members of the Wisdom do?
Preach. They devote their life to both Nor and the Exalted Father and spread his ideas.
Endurance?
Yes. The workers, farmers, and craftsmen. They do the simplest, but often the hardest and most important jobs. Not the truly demanding ones, though. Those are reserved for the slaves.
What's the purpose of the speech?
Politics, mostly. Or bureaucracy. Like Ambassador Jarrus here in Greykeep.
I see. So... what does the soul embody?
The leadership. The Exalted Father is a member of the Soul, as are most nobles and people of influence. You're not really chosen for the Soul, though. You need to be born into it. In other words, unless your parents are members of the Soul, chances are next to naught that you'll be raised into it. I mean, there are exceptions, but they are rare.
What's the purpose of the intelligence? To study magic?
To gather knowledge and explore magic, yes. Did you ever marvel at all the constructs, demons, and creatures that make the Exalted Father's army such an impressive force? They wouldn't exist without the intelligence. Certainly, spending most of your life in dank laboratories may not be as glamorous as fighting for glory on the battlefield, doing nifty politics and attending conclaves, or holding masses in front of hundreds of lost souls. But if it weren't for the intelligence, the Exalted Father's empire wouldn't be what it is today. Not at all.
I can imagine. And your mission was to study the nature of life and death?
And the nature of reality, yes. I have to say, if there is one thing I miss about the time before my exilement, it was the Dark Elves' appreciation for magic and knowledge. Not even Kalea's universities can hold a candle to the sanctum of the intelligence in Karlabrock.
What made you leave the Dark Elven Empire?
Long story. I don't want to talk about it.
How is Dark Elven culture different from Nortandian culture?
In just about every aspect. Dark Elves value the collective over the individual. Hardship over pleasure. Self-control over displays of emotion.
What do you think about it?
Good question. I used to be an avid advocate of Dark Elven culture. But now that I've lived abroad for a while, I can see why most foreigners demonize us. Slavery, sacrifice, demonic incantations. It's easy to write the Exalted Father off as the epitome of evil. The truth is, however, somewhat more complex. Karlabrock's system may be brutal, but it works. Better than most societies, for that matter.
But at what cost?
Society always means compromise. I don't think the Exalted Father rejoices in the suffering some of his servants have to endure. The only reason it seems evil to you is because you come from a different culture that values different ideals.
Is there anything you miss?
I can't say. Ever since I left, I haven't really looked back.
How do you feel about being in exile?
I don't know. I suppose part of me misses having a sense of home, roots. But there's no point dwelling on the past. It is how it is.
Let me ask you something else. Well, thanks for the insights.
Sure.
I'd like to learn more about your craft. Mysticism.
Such as?
You said that you can feel souls. How is that possible?
Hard to describe. Though I think it's an ability every mage could learn. I've always had it. Just imagine, the sea. The sound of the waves. If you live near the shore, you'll probably become insensitive to it eventually, to the point where you can't even hear it anymore. It's similar with the Tapestry of Souls. Most people have the ability to sense it, but they've grown numb to the stimuli. That never happened for me.
So, what you're saying is you can hear the presence of a soul? A flame?
Plural, but yes. To stay within the metaphor, when the vanishing first happened, it was as though somebody dropped a stone within a perfectly unmarred sea. It caused ripples. I know that may sound a bit vague, but it's hard to explain to somebody who has never seen the tapestry at all.
What does my soul look like?
Strong.
You mentioned that there is more than just one reality.
That is correct.
How come I haven't heard about this?
Probably because the other realities don't affect us. I mean, think about it. Yes, there are millions of other realities out there. Some very similar to our world, others where the principal kinds or the Guardians don't even exist. But how does this impact us as individuals? Yes, the scholarly aspect is exciting, but that's about it. I think that's also the conclusion the Hibernians came to eventually. They extensively researched the matter for hundreds of years, and then just stopped.
What do we know about the reality the God of Light comes from?
Not much, I'm afraid. Hopefully that'll change soon.
If the God of Light can enter other realities, couldn't we too?
In theory, yes. In practice, however, I doubt that organisms such as ourselves would survive such an attempt. We talked about this, but the Hibernians spent a lot of time trying to transport living beings into other realities through minuscule fractures in the veil. However, everybody they attempted to send through died instantaneously. It's ironic if you think about it, isn't it? There's an infinite number of worlds right behind the veil, yet we're stuck on the other side of the looking glass.
Let me ask you something else. What's your take on our companions?
Why?
Because I value your opinion.
Sorry, but I don't like these kind of conversations. I'm sure you're capable of forming your own opinions.
How come you don't have a dark elven accent?
My accent? Oh, I lost it ages ago. When I moved to that remote village where I conducted my studies, they had their own dialect.
Back in Lar, you said that you lost your family to the Bloodburn. Would you... well, would you like to talk about it?
No. I'm sorry, but I don't see how my personal life is relevant to our mission. I am here because the God of Light is a threat to us all, and I want to see the matter dealt with as swiftly as possible.
Don't you feel easier around people you know?
Of course I do. However, I'm not here to feel easy, but to stop the God of Light from devouring this world.
I just want you to feel at ease. If this affects our mission...
It won't. Thank you. But I appreciate your concern. If it's conversation you want, why don't we talk about your past instead? Judging by those nightmares you have, and according to the rumors, your waters also run deep.
Wait, how do you know about my nightmares?
Well, I'm a light sleeper myself. And it doesn't take a dreamweaver to connect those shouts that came from your tent just before we arrived in La, and a pair of bloodshot eyes to your ominous past.
If by my past you're talking about that incident in Imperia, I have to disappoint you. I don't remember it.
Oh, that's fine. I wasn't interested in the details anyway. I only care about the result. You made a tragic mistake, and other people paid the price for it. In the end, that's what it comes down to, isn't it?
I guess. What are you getting at?
I merely want your opinion on a question I haven't found an answer to. Say a person makes a terrible mistake. How can that person be sure he or she won't do it again if confronted with an identical situation?
There are no entirely identical situations.
Well, it was a hypothetical question, but fine. You don't have to answer. Frankly, I think most people are too quick to forgive themselves for their mistakes. It's almost as if they believe that their apologies and regret undo them altogether. They don't. I know it sounds dramatic, but if an innocent ever suffers under your actions, it leaves a stain on your soul. And that stain stays for the rest of your life, which is good, if you ask me. Some sins don't deserve forgiveness, and some sinners don't deserve absolution.
So, what exactly are you saying? That I am beyond absolution?
I don't know what you did, so I can't say. I guess what it boils down to is that people who messed up, whoever they may be, would do best not to forget that, and be particularly aware of their actions and decisions.
I don't really care about absolution. It's nothing but a concept anyway.
By that logic, everything that's not tangible is a concept, isn't it? Friendship, love, hatred. No, General Erev. These concepts, as you call them, are a vital part of our existence. No matter how hard you try to convince yourself otherwise. All that being said, I do approve of the Queen's decision to make you General of the Wolf Guard. I even see why she did it. It's better to have someone who knows their demons lead us than someone who doesn't. Now let's get back to the task at hand, shall we?
What do we have here?
General.
Did you hear back from the Black Company's leader yet? We still need to find information on those rogue sleepers.
Not yet, but that doesn't surprise me. The man likes to take his time. I suggest we deal with the other matters first.
Did you hear back from the Black Company's leader yet? We still need...
Not yet, but that doesn't surprise me. The man...
I'll be going.
Sure.
With autumn sun to warm your skin and a breeze on your back, the journey to the Howling Steppes is surprisingly pleasant. You sleep better than you have in months, and as you arrive at the border, you feel almost rejuvenated. The clean air...
Here we are. The Howling Steppes.
As inviting as a crypt. Is it just me, or does it smell like undead arse here? Ugh.
You're right, it does. Come on. Let's take a look around. The village is just up ahead. By the... See that? What by the Guardians was that?
I have no idea.
This doesn't bode well if you ask me. Let's find that village.